The Goldenrod showboat was a fixture on the St. Louis riverfront for decades. But today, all that remains of the largest showboat ever to travel the Mississippi River is jammed into a couple of storage lockers in Jerseyville, Illinois.
Got a sample here of some of the old wallpaper from the showboat. They've got sheet music in here. The big chandelier from the theater is right here. You know, telling the story about it, you know, it makes me light up because it's Americana. It's history that you cannot replicate anywhere else. We have all the stage lights from the showboat.
Jake Medford was never on the showboat in its heyday. He's only 27 years old. But much of his youth has been spent getting to know the Goldenrod in her dotage.
When I got involved and started getting on board more and more, that's when you really fall in love with the place, and it was just amazing.
By day, Jake runs his family's gas stations and serves as the minister at Jerseyville's Church of Christ. But much of his free time is spent saving the Goldenrod's soul.
It had a rough life going throughout history, but the amazing thing is these showboats were built to last roughly 10 to 15 years. That's all they would last. But this one lasted, much, much longer.
She endured crashes, fire, and foreclosure. And yet the Goldenrod continued cruising through 15 states from 1909 until 1937, when she docked in St. Louis for repairs and ended up staying for more than 50 years. Then, in 1989, the city of St. Charles bought the Goldenrod and moved the showboat to their riverfront. But within a few years, the need for expensive repairs brought down the curtain. The Goldenrod was donated to the St. Louis-based Historic Riverboat Preservation Association, and they moved it to a private mooring in Campsville, Illinois, hoping to raise enough money to bring the Goldenrod back to life. And Campsville is where Jake Medford, who was 19 at the time, first discovered the Goldenrod when he and a friend thought it would be fun to climb aboard and take pictures.
Once we took the photos, that's when we started taking time to look up the history. And the more that him and I did research on it, we were attracted to it more and more.
Jake got in touch with the preservation group to see if they wanted any of his pictures. Turned out what they needed was someone who lived near the boat to be its caretaker. Jake got the job.
We kept a sample of each glass that was on the showboat.
The idea was to try to keep the boat intact while raising money to restore it. But in 2014, while trying to reposition the boat at the mooring site, the hull was damaged beyond repair. And that's when the decision was made to start removing all the artifacts. Once all the artifacts had been removed, the plan was to dismantle the rest of the boat, store the lumber, and someday rebuild it. But on October 26, 2017, that plan was dashed when the Goldenrod mysteriously caught fire.
I was lost. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I know things don't go out with dignity, but that was just horrible.
A few spent fireworks were found around the boat, but no one has ever really figured out what caused it to burn.
We kept everything we could. This is an old menu.
Now the plan is to find a museum interested in exhibiting what remains of the grandest showboat ever to travel the rivers of America.
Keeping its story alive, that's important, because otherwise it's going to be lost forever. I never gave up on it, no. And that's why I'm still here.